Natural resources. Learning objectives. Forests. Soil. Minerals. Coal. Petroleum. Natural gas. Petrochemicals. Man was last to be created on earth by nature. Before his creation, the nature provided all the materials for his comfort within his environment. In the beginning, man had only a few basic needs to fulfill, for which he was not a burden on his environment. But as the desires and wants of man increased, he started exploiting his environment and began plundering the natural resources around him. The first natural resource that had to bear the man's cruelty is the forest. Soil became the second target of man's greed, and then he went on exploiting other natural resources like minerals and fossil fuels. In the preceding pages, we shall try to know about the impacts of man's intervention in the natural phenomena and about how man creates problems for his own survival by plundering these resources. We shall take up the forests and fossil fuels for study. Soil and minerals will be briefly mentioned. Forests. Forests are one of the most advantageous gifts of nature to a man. Forests support the mankind directly and indirectly. Directly in a way of providing wood, herbs, animals, birds, and indirectly in a way of protecting soil erosions, preventing floods, maintaining rainfalls, and the ecological balance of climates. Forest. Economic value of forests. The main use of forests is the extraction of timber. However, forests have other uses which have been increasingly realized in recent years. Forests help to improve the climate. If trees are planted in dry areas, they can protect the soil from wind erosion, prevent excessive evaporation from bare ground, and add moisture to the atmosphere by the transpiration. Forests are home to many wild animals and birds. These are necessary to maintain the food chains and food webs. Forests caused to earn millions of rupees by way of foreign exchange in medicinal and ornamental plants. Forests have great value for recreation also. They are beautiful themselves, and they can beautify the landscapes by adding variety to agricultural districts. Extraction of timber. Some forest products. Forests are very important for all living beings. There are so many things we get from the forests. Here we shall mention only those which are important economically. These are sawnwood, plywoods and veneers, fiberboards, rubber and other gums, naval stores, turpentine, resin, tar, and pitch, tannin, cork, palm and creeper products, medicinal herbs, fruits, nuts and spices. Man's intervention in forests. For thousands of years, the action of man has been gradually diminishing the world's forests' resources by burning, clearing and felling of trees for fuel, furniture, building or other purposes. The population explosion has speeded up the process of deforestation. The treatment of forests as an inexhaustible resource has led to many problems. Deforestation. Discovery of new uses of forests, wood and wood products, have made it clear that massive clearance of forests do not allow regeneration of forests of their own. Even if a small portion of forest is selected for cutting, this may degrade the forest, preventing the regeneration of that particular valuable species that was removed. In the mountain or hill slopes, the removal of the forest cover has initiated or encouraged soil erosion. Landslides are caused due to deforestation. Floods are caused because water cannot be absorbed by bare land. The areas where forests are cut and no new plants grown experience less or no rain at all, creating water shortage and droughts. The natural habitats of wild animals are destroyed and they come down to the populated areas, creating havoc there. The killing of wild animals by man creates imbalance in nature. The excess evaporation caused on the bare lands decreases the groundwater level also, because very less water is absorbed by barren lands. Deforestation due to landslides. Deforestation due to landslides. Conservation of forests. Man derives many of his needs from the forests and makes his life not only comfortable but also survives by means of forests. But when the forests are cut mercilessly, it poses a threat to the very survival of man. The best way to save the complex situation is to work on a process that would fulfill the needs of man and would also not endanger the survival of forests. That is the process of conservation. The main efforts that can be made towards the conservation of forests are afforestation. Nowadays, forests felled for timber are almost always replanted with seedling trees. The new trees may or may not be the same as removed. The trend is to grow quick-growing, more yielding and trees of great usefulness. Conifers, for example, are grown to be used in pulp industry. Many new areas which earlier had no forests have been brought under plantation to avoid soil erosion, floods and landslides. Afforestation. Fact: trees are the longest and largest living organisms on the earth if not cut by man. Birds and animals use trees for their homes and shelter. Improved cutting practices. If the cutting is selective, forests stand a better chance of regeneration and survival. Only mature and diseased trees should be removed from the forests and new trees should be planted at their places. Forests protection. Forests must be protected from fires, lavish cutting of trees and other hazards like pests. Reduction of wastage. Greater reuse of waste paper can save the blind felling of trees. Wastage must also be reduced at the industrial units itself. In the developed countries, newsprint and other inferior paper products are made from the recycled waste paper. Moreover, a forest's product should not be used exclusively for only one industrial purpose. Many products can be drawn from the first used forest's products. For example, cabrancho used for the extraction of tannin can be used as a source of hardwood. Social forestry. In order to meet their firewood and other needs of the people should take to soil forestry. They should plant trees on their lands and use them as they need. The trees cut can again be replanted. The government provides subsidies on such schemes. Chipko movement. Tribes though live entirely on the forest's products but they do not plunder their forests and practice many ways of forest conservation. They also do not allow cutting of forests unnecessarily. In 1978, the tribal women of Teri Garhwal district of UP, which is now a part of newly created state of Uttarakhand, started a Save Forest movement named Chipko, means to hug or embrace. They embraced the trees and stopped the cutting of trees. Their enthusiasm could not be deterred by the firing of police and imprisonments. Fact: 2 mature trees provide enough oxygen for a family of 4. 1 acre of forest removes 2.6 tons of carbon monoxide per year. 1 person releases about 10 tons of CO2 in a year. Soil. Soil is the fertile surface layer of the earth. It is capable of supporting plant growth. It is a dynamic layer in which many complex chemical, physical, and biological activities are going on constantly. It covers about 4/5 of the land area of the earth. Soil. Structure. Soil consists of the following 5 components. 1. Mineral matter. The mineral matter occurs in the soil as particles. These may be gravel, coarse sand, fine sand, slit and clay. Gravel and sand are visible to naked eye. The slit particles can be seen with a light microscope and clay particles are seen under an electronic microscope. 2. Organic matter. The organic matter in the soil is formed by the decay of the dead plant parts, animal wastes and dead animals by bacteria and fungi. The burrowing animals like earthworms mix this organic matter with the mineral matter of the soil. The organic matter gives black or brown color to the soil. It provides phosphorus, sulfur and nitrogen to the plants. 3. Water. The space between the soil particles is called interstices or pore spaces. This space is occupied by water and air. The air is many a time replaced by water when it rains. The moving water in the pore spaces is known as capillary water. The water bound with soil material is known as combined water. The down-moving water is called gravitational water. Plants can draw only capillary water from the soil. 4. Air. Soil contains air in the pore spaces. The soil air is different from the atmospheric air. It is not continuous. Its CO2 content is higher and O2 content lower. When evaporation decreases water content of soil, the air content increases. An ideal soil has 20% air holding capacity. 5. Living organisms. A variety of plant and animal organisms live in the soil. These include protozoans visible with microscope are called microfauna. Animals visible with naked eye are called macrofauna. These plants may be seen with microscope called microflora and those seen with naked eye are called macroflora. Soil profile. Soil profile shows 4 distinct layers called horizons. Horizon A is the top soil which is darker and of loose texture. Its upper portion is called litter. It contains scent and animal matter. Horizon B has soil particles which are smaller and compact. It contains minerals. Horizon C consists of weathered material derived from the intact parent rock. Horizon D is the parent rock itself from which the sand particles and gravel are derived. Soil profile. Human intervention in soil. Fertility of soil is depleted by many man-made processes. Some of them are explained below. Intensive agriculture exhausts minerals, particularly nitrates and phosphates, from the top layer. Growing the same crop year after year deprives the soil of particular minerals used by the crop. It also increases the incidence of soil-borne diseases. Deforestation allows flowing of water. It washes away minerals of the top soil. Allowing the animals to overgraze impoverishes the soil. Improper irrigation increases salinity of soil, making it less productive. Overwatering causes seepage of minerals into deeper layers of soil, making them useless for plants. Allowing waterlogging deprives soil of air. Unprotected fields are eroded by wind and water. Human activities such as felling of trees, overgrazing, overcropping and faulty tilling accelerate soil erosion. Addition of industrial waste changes the chemical nature of soil and reduced its fertility. Conservation of soil. Natural methods. Nature restores the soil fertility by the following processes. Release of minerals by decay of fallen leaves, twigs and dead roots and of animal excretors and dead bodies. Weathering of bedrocks. Bringing of fresh soil to the surface by borrowing animals like earthworms and rodents. Biological nitrogen fixation. Washing down of nitrogen compounds formed in the air by non-biological fixation of nitrogen. Artificial methods. Conservation. Soil requires preservation of its top layer, which is most suitable for plant growth. This can be achieved by restoration. Fertility of soil can be restored by the following: use of manures and fertilizers, rotation of crops, undersurface watering, inoculation of soil with nitrogen-fixing organisms, fallow fields. Prevention of erosion. Soil by water and air can be prevented by terracing of sloping lands, construction of ponds around the fields, construction of irrigation channels suitable to the fields, construction of drainage canals to flush out excess water, intensive cropping, contour plowing, planting trees and growing grasses. Minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring inorganic materials. They are non-renewable natural resources found in the lithosphere and hydrosphere. Minerals are of great importance to modern world. Man's life depends on the minerals in many ways. Even man's body is formed of minerals. Important minerals used for energy are coal and petroleum. Seepage of minerals. Coal. Coal is the major resource of energy, especially power. Its importance increased with the invention of steam engine in 1776. Later on, iron and steel industry became the major users of coal. Now the demand of coal is also due to its use as a source of electric energy. Coal. Coal formation. Coal is formed by the compressed vegetative remains of past ages. Most coal deposits are of Carboniferous age, i.e. about 300 million old. Coal originated from swampy areas with a hot, wet climate which encouraged the growth of luxuriant trees and ferns. When the plants died, their trunks and branches began to accumulate on the swampy ground and were compressed into peaty layers. Subsequent deposition of mud and sand sealed in the decomposing vegetation and prevented its total decomposition and disappearance. New forests grew and died and were covered in the same way, so that today we find a series of coal seams interlayered with other sedimentary rocks. Uses. Coal is used in many ways, such as it is used as a domestic fuel after converting it into coke. It is used to generate power in thermal power stations. It was used in railway engines for running trains. It is a source of organic compounds like toluene, benzene, naphthalene, aniline, athrosine and phenol. Synthetic petrol is made of coal. Weathering of rocks. Petroleum. The word petroleum is derived from two Latin words, petra meaning rock and oleum meaning oil. It is so called because it is derived from rocks where it is flowing freely in either liquid or gaseous state. Petroleum is the mineral which is in the greatest demand in modern industry. It supplies half the world's energy requirements. Occurrence of petroleum. Petroleum is a non-renewable natural resource. Though its origin is not known for definite, it is presumed to be derived from the organic materials. Analysis of petroleum samples shows that it is formed from decomposition of anaerobic bacteria of the innumerable small marine plants and animal organisms trapped in sediments as they were deposited on the sea. Some scientists believe that when sedimentary rocks accumulate in the ocean depths and get compacted, the pressure generates heat which transforms the decaying matter into tiny droplets of oil. Thus oil formation may be continuing even today, but the process is very slow. Wherever there are areas of marine sedimentary rocks such as mudstone, shale, sandstone or limestone, oil may be found in these areas. Oil platform. Uses. Petroleum is used in many ways, like it provides fuel for heat and lighting. It provides lubricants for machinery and raw materials for a number of manufacturing industries. It is easily obtained and transported. It is referred to as black gold for its immense use. Principal grades of petroleum. The modern petroleum industry recognizes three principal grades of crude oil for its uses. Paraffin base oil. This contains a high percentage of lighter hydrocarbons such as methane and yields the commercially more valued products like petrol, paraffin and high-grade lubricating oils. Asphalt base oil. This consists mainly of heavier hydrocarbons with a viscous, asphalt base. It is of less commercial importance because it yields little motor oil during distillation. Much of its residue is in the form of asphalt or bitumen, almost in solid state. Mixed base oil. This is an intermediate group with mixed properties of lighter and heavier hydrocarbons. It carries a high percentage of naphthalene. It is used both for lubricants and fuel oils. Humans' interference in coal and petroleum. The consequences of misuse and overuse of coal and petroleum may be summed up as follows. The burning of anything releases carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, resulting in pollution. Pollution causes many health problems to plants and animals. Global warming is caused due to excess release of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This leads to melting of glacial water reserves, creating a shortage of water in addition of increase in global temperature. Excessive mining changes the form of landscape. It reduces the fertile area and becomes an excuse for earthquakes due to hollowness of the earth. Excessive use of coal and petroleum results in their depletion. These natural resources are exhausting very fast, making the future of mankind bleak. Global warming. Conservation. Since coal and petroleum are non-renewable natural sources, something should be done that these are not exhausted very fast. Some of the conserving measures can be as follows. Use these fast-exhausting minerals as judiciously as possible. Use non-conventional energies like solar energy, hydel energy, gobar gases, wind energy etc. at place of coal and petroleum. Use collective means of transport instead of individual vehicles to reduce the use of diesel and petrol. Prevent oil spill by applying modern technology for the purpose. Fill the pits and crates created by mining to restore the glory of landscape and allow nature to continue the process of fossil fuel making for future generations. Natural gas. Just like coal and petroleum, natural gas is also a fossil fuel. Natural gas consists mainly of methane with small quantities of ethane and propane. In fact, natural gas contains about 95% methane, the remaining being ethane and propane. Natural gas occurs deep under the crust of Earth either alone or along with oil above the petroleum deposits. Thus, some wells dug into the earth produce only natural gas whereas others produce natural gas as well as petroleum oil. Natural gas is formed under the earth by the decomposition of vegetable matter lying underwater. This decomposition is carried out by anaerobic bacteria in the absence of air. India has vast reserves of natural gas. In India, natural gas has been found in Tripura, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and in Krishna Godavari Delta. When natural gas is compressed by applying pressure, it is called compressed natural gas, which is written in short form as CNG. In fact, natural gas is petrochemicals due to its great commercial importance. Petroleum is also called black gold. Many useful chemicals CNG being filled in a car at a filling station stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas, or CNG. It becomes easier to store, transport and use natural gas in the form of CNG. Natural gas is called a clean fuel because it burns without producing any smoke and does not cause air pollution. Advantages of using natural gas. 1. Natural gas, or CNG, is a good fuel because it burns easily and produces a lot of heat. Moreover, natural gas burns with a smokeless flame and causes no air pollution. It also does not produce any poisonous gases on burning. Natural gas does not leave behind any solid residue on burning. Natural gas is, therefore, a clean fuel, as compared to other fossil fuels. 2. Natural gas is a complete fuel in itself and can be used directly for heating purposes in homes and industry. There is no need to add anything else to it. 3. A great advantage of natural gas is that it can be supplied to homes and factories through a network of underground pipes, and this eliminates the need for additional storage and transport. Such a network of pipelines for the supply of natural gas exists in Vadodara, in Gujarat, in some parts of Delhi and a few other places. Uses of natural gas. 1. Natural gas is used as a domestic and industrial fuel. 2. Natural gas is used as a fuel in thermal power stations for generating electricity. 3. Compressed natural gas is being used increasingly as a fuel in transport vehicles, like cars, buses, etc., in place of petrol and diesel. CNG is a good alternative to petrol and diesel in vehicles because it is a cleaner fuel and does not cause much air pollution. In fact, CNG is being used in many vehicles these days to reduce air pollution in cities. CNG which is used in vehicles is filled in cylinders. These cylinders can be refilled at CNG filling stations. 4. Natural gas is used as a source of hydrogen gas needed to manufacture fertilizers. When natural gas is heated strongly, the methane present in it decomposes to form carbon and hydrogen. This hydrogen is then used to manufacture fertilizers. 5. Natural gas is used as a starting material for the manufacture of a number of chemicals which are called petrochemicals. CNG being filled in a car at a filling station. Petrochemicals. Due to its great commercial importance, petroleum is also called black gold. Many useful chemicals, or substances, are obtained from petroleum and natural gas. Those chemicals which are obtained from petroleum and natural gas are called petrochemicals. Some examples of petrochemicals are methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, formaldehyde, acetone, acetic acid, ethylene, benzene, toluene, vinyl chloride and hydrogen. Petrochemicals are very important because they are used to manufacture a wide range of useful materials such as detergents, synthetic fibers like polyester, nylon, acrylic, etc., plastics such as polythene, polyvinyl chloride, bakelite, etc., synthetic rubber, drugs, dyes, perfumes, fertilizers, insecticides and explosives, etc. Hydrogen gas is obtained as a petrochemical from natural gas. Hydrogen gas obtained from natural gas is used in the manufacture of fertilizers, such as ammonium nitrate and urea. Thus, petroleum is not only a source of fuels but also provides raw materials, in the form of petrochemicals, to manufacture a large number of useful substances. Energy resources of Earth are limited. Most of the energy that we use today comes mainly from the three exhaustible resources of the Earth: coal, petroleum and natural gas. The amount of coal, petroleum and natural gas present in the Earth is limited. The known reserves of coal, petroleum and natural gas will last only for about 100 years. Once the present stock of coal, petroleum and natural gas present in the Earth gets exhausted, no new supplies of these fossil fuels will be available to us in the near future, because it takes millions of years to convert the dead organisms into fossil fuels in nature. So, fossil fuels should be used with care and caution, and not wasted at all so that the existing reserves of fossil fuels can be used over as long a period as possible. Moreover, the burning of fossil fuels is a major source of air pollution. The use of fossil fuels is also linked to global warming, because they produce a lot of greenhouse gas carbon dioxide on burning. So, the use of lesser fossil fuels will lead cleaner environment and smaller risk of global warming. From the above discussion we conclude that we should use fossil fuels only when absolutely necessary because 1. It will ensure the availability of fossil fuels for a longer period of time. 2. It will reduce air pollution and lead to a cleaner environment. 3. It will reduce the risk of global warming. Note that the fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum and natural gas cannot be prepared in the laboratory from dead organisms, dead plants and animals. This is because the formation of fossil fuels is a very, very slow and the conditions for their formation cannot be created in the laboratory. How to save petrol and diesel? Petrol and diesel are the two main fuels which are used for driving vehicles. We should make every effort to avoid the wastage of these precious fuels. In India, the Petroleum Conservation Research Association, PCRA, advises people on how to save petrol or diesel while driving vehicles. The various tips for minimizing the wastage of petrol and diesel while driving vehicles are as follows. 1. Ensure regular maintenance of the vehicle, including engine tuning. 2. Drive the vehicle at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. 3. Switch off the vehicle's engine at traffic lights or at a place where a person has to wait. 4. Ensure correct air pressure in the tires of the vehicle. Low tire pressure consumes more fuel. Q keywords: plunder, to loot, to exploit, transpiration, evaporation through the pores of leaves, felling, cutting of trees, pore spaces, spaces between the particles of soil also known as interstices, capillary water, moving water in soil with upward or sideward movements, gravitational water, movement of water in soil with downward movement, intensive agriculture, growing variety of crops, rotation crops, growing different crops in each season, contour plowing, making growing fields on the sloppy land, lubricants, materials used to reduce friction, bleak, dark with no hope. Summary: man is the last natural creation. Nature provided all the comforts for man in his environment. Forests are one of the most advantageous gifts of nature to a man. Forests have great value for recreation also. Sawn wood, plywoods and veneers, fiberboards, rubber and other gums, naval stores, cork, tannin, palm and creeper products, medicinal herbs and fruits, nuts and spices are the items obtained from forests. Man's action has been gradually diminishing the world's forests. To derive his needs and to avoid the extinction of forests, man should conserve forests. Afforestation, improved cutting practices, forest protection, reduction of waste and social forestry programs can save forests. Soil is the fertile surface layer of earth that supports vegetation. Soil contains mineral matter, organic matter, water, air and living matter. Fertility of soil is destroyed by many of man's actions. Soil should be conserved by using fertilizers, avoiding soil erosions and rotation crops, etc. Minerals are naturally occurring in organic materials. They are non-renewable natural resources. Coals and petroleum are the most sought-after minerals of modern life. Coal is used in production of electric energy and as fuels. Petroleum has many uses in transportation and industries. Meticulous use of coal and petroleum can conserve these precious minerals. Use of non-conventional energy resources can save overuse of coal and petroleum. The use of fossil fuels is also linked to global warming.